Hello and assalamu alaikum. My name is Al Walid. I'm a group member of group 13 in DSA section 10. I will be presenting the student part in the student management system. So first of all, we created the class student, and each student has an ID, a name and a CGPA. And these are the functions of the student class. These four functions make up the student interface in the system. So first we have the ascending sort students GPA, we have the descending sort students GPA, the sort students ID, and the swap function, which is used in the sort students ID because we're using selection sort in this function. And now for the main. So here we used a vector of students, a vector array. At first we were using a normal array, but then we realized we wanted to add a feature for the lecture to be able to add or remove students from the array. So we decided that it's better to replace the normal array by a vector array. Okay, and here we have the fstream to read from the text file. So when the text file is open, the count increases depending on how many items are in the menu. So for example, if we have 10 students, the count will count up to 10, or for example we have 12 students, the count will count up to 12. And then here the file closes, and we open the file again in order to input the data inside of the text file inside of the vector array, like starting from the first index. And here, starting from this part, we have the student interface. So we start by displaying the basic student interface, which gives you four options. First option is display student list, second option sort students by ID, and third option sort students by CGPA, and the fourth option in order to exit the program. So we use a switch statement in order to be able to choose one of the four options. So in case of the first option, we showcase every single item inside of the list. So we showcase every single student, CGPA, and student name inside of the array using a for loop. And in the second case, if you choose to sort students by ID, we use the sort students ID in order to sort all of the students inside of the vector by ID. And then we showcase the list of students again. And in case of 3, you get the option in order to choose what order do you want, descending order or ascending order, and the third option in order to exit. So in case you choose the first option, we sort the student GPA by ascending order, and we showcase the new sorted students list, and you get the option to choose again. So if you choose option 2, the student gets sorted by CGPA in descending order, and again we showcase the list of students, and you get the option to choose again. So let's say you want to exit, and you choose option 3, you exit out to the first student interface, which is this one. And in case you choose another option, you get the invalid option, and you have to choose again. You have to choose another option. Okay, now in the main switch statement. In case of 4, you exit the program. And the default, if you choose anything that's not 1, 2, or 3, or 4, you get invalid choice, so you have to choose another number. Okay, now for the ascending sort student GPA, we start with pass. We start from pass 1. While pass 1 is less than count, the pass increases, and then another for loop, internal for loop, to sort the array. We start from index 0, and while I is less than count, minus pass, I plus plus. Okay, so yeah, if students index I, at the CGPA, if the CGPA of the student at this index, at the first index, is less than the CGPA of the student at the next index, the student swap position. This for the ascending order. And for the ascending order, it's similar, but we swap in case the student at the first index is more than the student at the second index. So this way you start from the highest to lowest, and the other way you start from the lowest to highest. I'm sorry, I mean the opposite. Start from the highest to lowest. Yeah, and here from lowest to highest. Okay, so now for the sort student's ID. Okay, so for this function we use selection sort. For the previous one we used bubble sort. I think here it's obvious. We used bubble sort. For the second one we used the selection sort. Okay, so for selection sort, okay, so we start here we create a for loop, int last equal count -1, while last is more than or equal 1, minus last. We have a largest index, when it has a largest index, and then here if students at index I dot get int ID. So for this part the ID is made up of letters. So here in the class we create this function in order to return the ID as an integer, in order to be able to compare it and to be able to sort the array based on the ID, based on the string. Okay, so here we compare the integer value of the characters. If the character is greater than the character at largest index, the largest index gets replaced. And here for okay, here for the second letter we create an else if for the second letter. If both students have the same first letter, we check the second letter. We check if the second letter is greater than the second letter for the two students that have similar first letter. If second letter is greater, largest index is equal I. So we okay, and then we have another else if the first letter and the second letter are the same, it checks the third integer ID, which is a number. But since it's string, we have to it's considered as a string, and we have to return it as an integer, and it checks it in the same way. And then finally it swaps students at largest index, swaps with students at last. And this way we can sort the students in based on ID in descending order. And this is the swap function. Student temp is equal to x, and then x is equal to y, and then y is equal to m. Basically it's a simple swap function for students. And now I will make a test run of the program. Okay, so this is the main menu of the student interface. So let's say I press option 1, display student list. It shows all the student list, but it's unsorted. So let's sort it by ID. Let's choose option 2. Now the list is sorted by ID. As you can see, B is the least, so B, C, D, S. And here we have C and S are the same. C and S are the same, so it sorts based on the last number. Okay, so now let's sort it by CGPA. Okay, so it gives me an option to choose ascending or descending. So let's choose ascending order. As you can see, highest, start from highest to lowest. Let's choose descending order, starts from lowest to highest. Now this makes it easier to navigate through the list of students. Okay, and now if I press 3, I exit and I go back to the main menu. Let's say I choose 6. It's an invalid option, so I have to choose again. So let's press 4 to exit the program. And yeah, that's it for the student interface in the student management systems. Thank you so much for watching.